Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Money and Politics. We're recording this on the afternoon of February 12. If you don't know, Lincoln's birthday. Our eh, face of our investors for this week is a sad one. And I have to chuckle. This is my number two son when he was about 5 years old. But he reflects that we're closing out the week on a sad note. And the sad note is that the stock of Humbl and forwardly we're down today. The markets were up marginally higher. When we see what Humbl has done, Humbl was down today about 9%. That sounds like a lot. It's not really. You're going to get dramatic moves when you have a stock priced in this price category, as low as it is. So Humbl down to $1.30, that was down 13 cents. And the other stock that we follow so closely is Forwardly, and Forwardly was down as well, as you would expect, 7.5% to 92 cents. Yesterday it was at $1. I had a friend who said, I suggested she buy it, and she texted me today and was like, well, I guess I bought it the wrong time. And as someone else has said, other people have said, stocks don't know that you bought them. They just sometimes they go up and down, and that's to be expected. And we'll go into some of the movements that we've had from this, just to put this in perspective. But first, let me bring up again the disclaimer that I'm not a registered financial advisor or a registered broker. I'm just here to discuss investing in the stock market and hopefully give you some ideas on how you can do that and update you on some of the information as we go along. One of the things that concerned me earlier today about Humbl was the idea that, I'm looking at this as a global player, and that's why I think the movement on this could be so massive that we could go from what is now $1.30. And it wasn't that long ago, earlier, like a month ago, we were talking about a 20-cent stock. So let's put that in perspective. And forwardly at 92 cents, same thing. Last time I bought that, as I mentioned, I bought 2,000 shares at 26 cents a share. So am I going to be upset that now it's at 92 cents? No, I'm not. We've had great movements on that. One of the things I was saying is we're looking at something that can be global. And I went to one of the groups of Humbl investors earlier in the day and said, am I misleading myself? Are there other companies out there that could be doing what Humbl is doing? And to what extent should we be paying attention to competition? And one fellow who gave a very insightful response, and I'm going to read this. It's a little long, so please bear with me, but I think it seems it's some great information that you'll want to have. So, could Humbl be knocked out by other competition is the question. Here's his response. It seems that Humbl and Brian Foote, who's the CEO, have been secretly building his global network with governments and the UN for some time now, but that is just my assumption based on some articles I've come across. From the UN 2035 initiative article to DIPL to connections in Nigeria. What makes Humbl unique is that they're targeting the emerging markets, especially in Southeast Asia and Latin America, and they have a lot more potential revenue avenues and product lines that give them a competitive edge. From brand awareness with clothing to hubs, kiosks, studios, merchant deals, featured artists, to financial ETX blocks, and all the other standard payment banking features. And he goes on to say that what I see them planning to do that no other product does is currency exchange, which will be huge. So it's good to know that they have prior staff from MoneyGram. They have other interesting staff as well, I will add. Yes, the blockchain will allow for cheaper fees to transact with the financial industry going forward, but what makes Humbl a unicorn is not that only do they have the technology, but also the business marketing. Humbl has been a 3-year-long project built on Digibyte, which has been in the works since 2014. And so that's what my friend said. And I think that's to paraphrase all this. Humbl has a lead, and others are not going to be able to duplicate this in the same sense. And as he said, or another person said, that Humbl is built on the blockchain technology. So some of these other digital payment platforms, you might say, like a PayPal and others, would have to start over as far as having their system designed, whereas Humbl is built on the blockchain technology from the ground up. So not only that, but they're having this lead. And so I think that's something that I wanted you to be able to hear and put this into some context. Now, the other thing is, let's just take a look at something here for a moment. When we look at how the stock has gone down, here we are with TSNP in the black, and let me bring forwardly, and this is 1 month. If we go to, let's say, a year, I mean, look at that. TSNP up, even after it's come down a little, is up 1,300%. That's the thing to remember on this down day when we might be going, oh my gosh, what do we do? Do we hold? Do we sell? I think, folks, we're going to be looking, my estimation, it's a guess, I don't have a crystal ball, but based upon synthesizing the information I have and what's going on, I think we're going to have a number of catalysts coming along, so that in the area of June, and we're about 5 months away from that, I think that we would probably be somewhere, I'm going to guess, on TSMP between $2.25 to $3. And again, I might be conservative, maybe I'm a little high, but I think that's my good gut feel. And when we get to December, 11 months from now, I think we would be somewhere in the $4 to $5 range. Now, some people think it's going to be $20. I want to keep us these expectations, realistic. So that's kind of an overview on that. There's some other stocks I was going to bring up, but I think I'm going to do that. Maybe I'll bring those up over the weekend because I'm already about 10 minutes into this. One thing I wanted to say to you, if you're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm nervous. Folks, people, when this is $5, $10 and higher, they're going to be looking at, TSMP and said, you bought it at $1.30, you bought it at $1.50, you bought forwardly below $1. It's only by virtue of the fact that you got in so low that I mean, even if it's below where you bought it, that this is nothing. And I'll close out with this. One of the grand slam financial home runs I had in my investment career, the one that really jumps out, is when I bought Cisco back in 1993, August of 93. And I've told this story, I think, before on here, but I paid $55 a share. I invested $11,000, bought 200 shares at $55. Well, when we came to April of 94, the whole market went down. And my investment of $11,000 in Cisco was down to $9,000. And, thank goodness I didn't panic. I didn't sell it then, because it went up and up and up after that. And, I've had a financial cushion for the last, 28 years because of the investment that I made in Cisco Systems, and I held on to it for 5 years. There was a fellow on one of the financial channels tonight just saying, a bromide, that if I'm not going to buy something and hold it for 5 years, I don't want to hold it for 5 days. It's a saying. I don't believe that. I mean, I don't always buy something that I'm going to hold on to for 5 years. But I think that kind of puts it in context where we are on Humbl and forwardly, especially Humbl. We're going to be getting the new symbol come in at some point here. We're waiting for that. We're going to get updates on the rollout. We'll get another investor readout coming out, I think, in, I guess, March or early April, somewhere in that frame of the woods. We'll probably get some other updates. So just my thought is hang in there. You can't expect your stocks to go up all the time. As I've said so many times before, you're going to be planting the seeds and now let the corn grow. And as I said too, one of the problems is people often want to be doing something. They figure they got to be doing something. And sometimes the hardest thing to do emotionally is nothing. In fact, Warren Buffett said for the average investor, they'd be good to put together their portfolio and then not look at it for 3 years. And I don't believe in that either, but I do think I would share that with you right now as far as just advice. Don't overthink this. You got on the bus. If you haven't made a purchase, this would be a good time to do it, I think. And in the meantime, hope you have a great weekend. The market is going to be closed on Monday. But once again, thanks for joining me. And if you, the other thing we hope you're doing is also making comments. You'll see that I'm responding to them. And some people have asked me to look at some of the other stocks. Some of them, a lot of them I don't like, but some I have liked, and I'll do a follow-up with that as well. I just didn't have the time to do all that now, or we'd have an hour-long show. In any event, have a good weekend and great investing, everyone. And as always, thank you so much for spending your time with me. And for those who make a comment and have made such nice comments, thank you for that as well. I really appreciate it. So have a great weekend. Stay warm, be safe, and we'll see you next time.